Yeah, are you about done grooming? Are we ready to go outside? It's Monday, September 15th, and you know what we call Monday? We call it Back to Work Monday. And I've got on my noise-canceling microphone so I can zoom in and out and the audio will remain steady. The pets are out the door, and boy, do we have our work cut out for us today in the weather department. They said it was going to be a beautiful week. Well, this isn't a very glorious start, is it? 60 degrees, and it's almost 9 o'clock in the morning. And I did see the sun for a while this morning, but now it's cold and gray. Yeah, I'm calling 60 degrees cold. There's the air coming from the east and northeast. We've got workers over there. I can zoom in. Whole team taking care of business. Nice day for working outdoors. Can see some sunshine over there, looking over towards Gurnet Light and Quincy. There's the sun. And then the buildings of Boston are becoming obscured by a marine layer. That is air coming in off of the ocean. So what? Air came in off the ocean for several days last week and we had plenty of sunshine. Well, it's a little different today. The dew point is higher. Here's the regional roundup of temperatures, wind, and dew point at about 8 o'clock. It was fairly comfortable, fairly seasonable, 50s with dew points in the 50s, central New England, cooler, drier to the north. But then look at the dew point numbers once you get from Boston to Cape Cod, about 63, 64. And the water temperature is probably about 63, 64. But there's more to it. I mean, I've had plenty of days where we've had wind coming in off the ocean and it's not been gray and chilly. So what's going on? Well, there's a lot we got to talk about today. There were northern lights last night. There was a shark predation right where we were all weekend yesterday. There was a record number of tornadoes in North Dakota yesterday. And there was a ½ inch of rain in southern Rhode Island yesterday. All of which could use 5 or 10 minutes of discussion. Shall we start out in North Dakota, where Jordan Hall was chasing? He said it was a historic day with close to 20 tornadoes from the South Dakota border north through central North Dakota up into the Canadian border. And he said historic indeed with 20 tornadoes on one day in September. Probably a record. He said in the previous 74 years, beginning in 1950, there only had been 27 tornadoes documented in the entire month of September. Wow. So that's the northern edge of anomalous heat and a boundary that's lifting north. When those boundaries lift north to our west, we generally warm up, and we in New England are generally warming up. But complicating factors. What do you see, Steve? Yes, there are baby bunnies below the hill. Yes, there are sharks in the water. Yesterday, you know, we spent the weekend over there in Plymouth on the water, and all the news this morning is reporting that shark attacked a seal in Plymouth yesterday, so they closed the beaches from Manamet to Long Beach. And Tracy actually got a video of that seal out there off of Western Point at Saquesh yesterday, and we were unaware that there was a predation, but of course, sharks eat seals, so I don't know if you call it an attack. I attacked a clam roll over the weekend. I consumed it. Sharks consume seals. That's what happens. But someone saw an image of the seal, not in so good shape. I don't know if that's the image right there or not. That was just posted with no credits or anything. So yeah, it is scary. And we were up on the hill also at the Gurnet Light yesterday, and I was actually making a video looking across at Manamet. And yeah, there are seals and there are sharks in the water. So that's another issue. I think I'm done with that for now. Oh yes, and the Northern Lights, Rob Wright was at Lake Winnipesaukee. Rob Wright is always in the right place. Yesterday evening, I guess it was a well-forecast aurora that I wasn't really paying much attention to. And glorious images, Rob, of course. And then if we go west to Wisconsin, I think Logan Palmer got one of the best images. He says, there's the Big Dipper, there are the Northern Lights, and there is a shooting star, he called it. There have been a lot of those lately. Meteor. It's a meteor. It's a piece of dust skimming across the top of our atmosphere, burning up, often just the size of a piece of dust. But they can be big, like as big as basketballs or even Volkswagens. I would say this one's more of a dust, though. And fabulous imagery last night in this quiet weather pattern. In this quiet, why is it gray here weather pattern. Well, let's look down from space. 22,300 miles up is the GOES East. That's a geostationary satellite that is always taking images. And my favorite site was down last week, but it's back now. It's called the NASA MSFC. And you can move it around and stuff. And here's the really wide view, and quite a spectacle of a storm over North Carolina, almost looking like a tropical storm. Gale warnings in effect, winds 15 to 30 miles an hour, 5 to 10 foot seas. It's got a circulation, but it's not tropical. It's not warm core, so it's not getting a name. Looks like there's another one north of Bermuda. And as we scan closer, I'm going to change the perspective so we can get a close-up of New England. And this was right at about 8:30. I think I got this one. You see some fog in the valleys of northern New England where it was clear, calm, with the radiational cooling last night. Totally sensible. But you have to look carefully, and it looks like clouds are thickening there, especially from Boston Point's north. That would be a stratocumulus cloud, and you can make out kind of a boundary from east of Cape Cod, west through Connecticut, that multi-layered, it's hard to say how high these clouds are when you're looking down from space, but there is clearly a very subtle boundary that stretches from northeastern Pennsylvania through New York and southern New England. And I believe that is the case that we've had for several days now, where these fronts coming from Canada are tending to stall right along the south coast of New England, and the guidance is not picking up well at all. Like what happened yesterday in Rhode Island, as we were at the beach yesterday, these clouds kept thickening up, and then the sun would come out, and then it ended up really gray in the afternoon. And off to the west, we were monitoring those towering cumulus clouds. As we were exiting the beach, I could see them off to the southwest, and little did I realize how intense they were in Rhode Island. Kingston, Rhode Island picked up 0.54 inches of rain yesterday. That will dampen your Sunday afternoon, and none of us had that in the forecast. So this is what we have to deal with going forward. That's our back to work mission, is how much rain and when in southern New England this week. There's the bunny. I just saw the baby bunny. It's right in there. Steve sees everything first. So crows up in the sky, they see everything, and they give you hints on what's going on. Dolphins in the water, they see everything. They give you hints of what goes on. And the cats also give you hints of what's going on. And T-Rex is like, I think Steve sees something down there. What is going on down there? Yep, so we do weather and more. We've covered the northern lights. We've covered the severe storms. By the way, those severe storms from North Dakota have moved into Canada, and it's not going to be anywhere near as bad today. Oh, yes, and the Hurricane Center. The National Hurricane Center says now that there is about an 80% probability that the wave coming off of Africa is going to develop into a tropical cyclone now within the next probably about 4 or 5 days. And I liked where that red cone of uncertainty is out over the open ocean, over the North Atlantic to the east and to the north of the Caribbean islands. So that's good. That will be just a spectacle. Maybe that'll generate some surf for us. The surf that we have out there right now is kind of getting blown off by this east wind, but we should have some surf building. But the question is, how much rain for southern New England this week? And I would say more rain than they are saying. So it's a tough forecast. Here's the map this afternoon, and it's a 1027 high that's over much of New England, and that low pressure system over North Carolina is only about a 1012. But the fact that the pressure gradient is pretty steep because it's such high pressure in New England, that is quite a storm over North Carolina, and one of many. There have been so many storms that have gone off North Carolina. You can go back a couple of months with these highs from Canada, and we've been watching the south and west side of these highs. Now this high is going to crest right over us today, so I think most of New England is dry, although some showers obviously are possible here in southern New England again today with this sort of faux boundary that's going on. Can't get enough of the animals. Back to work. Yeah, and if you advance the Weather Prediction Center maps to Wednesday morning, you can see the green getting up close to the south coast of New England. That low is going to be weakening as it comes at us, but it may end up being an overachiever. I think we're going to get an overachieving rain in the next several days in southern New England, so not all quiet. Although if I show you the meteogram for Nashua, New Hampshire, it shows nothing but nice, 75 to 80, but that is different than it had a couple days ago. A few days ago, it was trying to get us to 80 to 85 on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday especially, but now it's barely getting us to 80, and it peaks on Friday, and then it goes way down on Saturday. The next front, serious front for all of New England, is going to be Thursday into Friday. It's always the Thursday into Friday, isn't it? So shall we go right to the Euro now and see if we can figure out what's going on, even though the Euro has some clear flaws, as I'll talk about at the end of the sequence here. So let's start that sequence of the Euro. Going forward, there's the 1027 high over New England, southeastern Canada, the severe weather in the middle of the nation where the hot weather is. It's lifting north into Canada, and that usually pulls warm air across southeastern Canada into New England, except for the fact that as this high moves off east of New England instead of south of New England, that means our flow is going to come from the east, so it's going to stay fairly gray, I believe, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island for the most part. And you see that rain coming up across near New Jersey. The low pressure center looks like it's fallen apart completely, but then you do get the green specks in here tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday. And so we may have overachieving rains in parts of southern New England again, like we did the last 2 days, on Wednesday into early Thursday. And then here comes the front from Canada we've been watching. For the most part, that front has been coming in with high pressure coming right at us, right at New England. A couple days ago, though, on Saturday morning, tried to bring that high into the Midwest and stall a front here, but for 2 days in a row now, it keeps the front moving off just south of New England. Again, we're going to have to watch that boundary as that high comes in. It'll be frosty, maybe even the first freeze of the season in parts of northern New England here on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. That high should make a nice weekend for most of us, although I'm dubious near the south coast how far that front can get south of us. But a lot of weddings coming up. I've already had a request for forecast for weddings. This weekend should be good, but chilly, especially at night. So multi-layered clothing. And as that high comes over us and we start to warm it up, oh, you just missed it, but down there in the lower right, that would have been Hurricane Gabrielle turning back toward the north and east near Bermuda and out of the picture completely by next Tuesday. And then there's a warm front in the middle of the nation, but there's this anomalous upper level low, according to the Euro, right over the middle of the country. I don't believe that one at all. And now this goes out to Wednesday, September 24th, and it has a 558 cutoff low pressure system over Kansas and Oklahoma. That would be a cool pool aloft with rain and thunder and everything out there. While New England, we're looking pretty good with a high pressure system, even though there's a couple of green specks there. That's kind of a warmer front coming back at us after the cool off over the weekend with the 564 and even the 570 thickness coming at us. And I just want to talk a little bit about that big upper level low right in the middle of the nation. Right there at the same time, the GFS has nothing but sunshine and hot air with a 570 to 576 thickness. 576 thickness. So the Euro has been guilty of this somewhere or another over the last week or so. We've been seeing these anomalous upper level lows, although it had one over New England today from about 6 days ago, and maybe it was onto something because this is not a pretty day here near Boston. So I don't believe that. I am going to think that it's going to be another warming trend, so we're going to close out September, the last week of September, with another warming trend. So the bottom line here in all of this is in southern New England, don't trust the weather forecast, and in northern New England, you're pretty much in cruise control with just a reinforcement of cool and cold and perhaps the first freeze. Maybe Sunday River tries out their snow guns on Saturday morning, something like that, and then it will warm back up again next week. So we are still in celestial summertime. The equinox is next Monday. And by the way, the equinox is supposed to be equal day and night, right? Well, the length of day with sun above the horizon on the equinox day is 12 hours and 9 minutes. We actually don't get equal day and night until about 4 days later because of the shape of the Earth. The Earth is an oblate spheroid. It's an imperfect world, imperfect geography. But Steve, you're a perfect looking kitty. And T-Rex out the door today, calling the play-by-play because weather in New England and most of the world is unpredictable. And sometimes we have to treat it like a sporting event. Oh yeah, speaking of sporting events, how about that Patriots game yesterday? Woo, that was something else. Listen to that on the radio, and then watching the Red Sox and the Yankees last night. And the Red Sox did pull one out. Red Sox are off. Oakland comes to town tomorrow. That's their weather and your sports and your news. And now, how about yesterday's weather today, including a bunch of American history at the first twin lights there at Plymouth Light in the Gurnet. Before the nation was even born, there was a light built there, and there was also a massive cannon. So you got to be patient. I'm going to read some American history and show the highlights of looking over the water where we did not know there was a shark predation yesterday. All right, yesterday's weather today and more. Talk to you on our Tuesdays are good if you can get them. Maybe tomorrow will be good. Maybe. And more. 9:30 a.m. on Sunday the 14th, and we had blue sky, and it was really warm. Still editing. Not in a hurry, but this altocumulus cloud looks fairly thick, and a lot of times you get these with sort of warm front, cold fronts, and a lot of times they evaporate as the day goes on, but that one looks fairly thick right there. I think I see some more blue sky. So it's a work in progress, but certainly with that cloud, it turned a little cool. In the 60s, it is September after all. Let's see how it goes. Comes the blue sky. It's coming back just about 10 o'clock, and I hear that Kiki likes carrots. Kiki likes carrot? Wow. Kiki wins. Kiki likes carrots. Kiki lived a lot of time in a barn, I believe. And it's sort of a barnyard dog. And much like the horses, likes carrots. Oh yeah, tasty. Rex, are you jealous? You want some carrot too? I dare you to try and take it. Because Kiki knows how to protect her food source. Rex learned that fast when he got here. There's another source of food up there. Huh. Kiki. Kiki. Here we are, this magical spot, Western Point. And there's a little T-Rex over there who doesn't really like the water. Oh, get some rogue waves coming in. Watch out, T-Rex, the wave's coming your way. Point. Magical spot. It's a vorticity of energy right here. Kiki, is this Kiki's first time out to the point? Oh, the water's a little chilly. And beautiful. The ladies, Janet's one of your favorite spots on earth right here, right? Yes. What is so special about it?
It's the point.
The point.
Where the two tides merge.
That's
cross current. It's dangerous too, but
the birds seem to like it too. At low tide, just about low tide. I think it's a little lower. And you got your own island, Kiki. Your own little island. That's the things you find out here. Oh, that one's still alive. This one's still alive. T-Rex is in the water. That's an unusual sight. So the tide's low now. I just found this guy and I thought I'd pick him up, but he says, you know, I'm still alive. I said, oh, wow. How's your day? He's covered in mud. Oh, he's hanging on. You're welcome. certainly congregate. And just about 100 of them go by. They're headed north. Guys going the wrong way. Where are you going? And there's the point as we approach low tide. And we see blue sky in most of the horizon, and I think the sun is coming back. So no plan. Oh, and the wind's more from the west now, so it's gonna get warmer. Yeah. That was very fun out at the point. Rex, meeting crabs and Kiki and a live crab and digging a hole. And look at this, the temperature is about to go up 10 degrees as the blue sky returns for a lunch and brunch. Wind from the west is best. Just about time to head back to Steve and Mitt. Gotta put the ragged old flag back in the rugged old Jeep. Get some instability cumulus, a bunch of birds that you probably can't see, big ones, little ones. And for a moment there, this flag was just calm. We had glassy water for a few minutes, but air is starting to move a little bit. Light variable onshore is what I'm thinking. And glorious day at the beach. The Tracy Vortex with the best weather. Still working out. All right. Flag comes down now. Breeze clearly from the east. Heating of the land. Beautiful cumulus. We're gonna have those TCU again today. Maybe without the T, but cumulonimbus yesterday. And we have to bid this vortex farewell and head off to the next one. That altocumulus from earlier down there. Look at all the cars out in the spit at Plymouth. Cars and boats as the tide comes in on this glorious, not in a hurry Sunday. See a grasshopper that's not green. It's the color of sand. How close can we get? You see it? Nope. There it goes. It's going fishing. It's fish bait. To the cats. Patriots are on. Got poison ivy? We do. So we're out in the Sequoia Gurnet now. Got through those yards looking at cumulus. Of course I had to pull over. The cats will still be there. Look at that cumulus building up. Right there. It's pretty. But I want to get a picture of this. I thought that was maybe a camera looking at us. It was just a funny face looking at us. Hey, hi. And over here, that's called Clark Island out there. It's Duxbury Bay, and I think it's called Snug Harbor, but that is an island. And there are oyster grants right there. See the oyster grants? See the cumulus? Good. And altocumulus. Keep moving. That car looks good, but we actually had to jump it again. It's got good lift though. It's a pretty car. We heart our rover. Congregating cormorants. Oh, Patriots scored while I was making that video, but they missed the extra point. Again, he says? They upgraded their sign. Camp Quitcha Bitchin'. Oh, what's the name of that camp? Quitcha Bitchin'? Just because the Patriots missed 2 extra points, I ain't bitching about that. Look at that cloud building. It's gonna chase us or we're gonna chase it. Weather chases us. So we could go the front beach, which is sand, or this is the back road. A couple ways out, in and out of here. Low tide is best though. And much like those clouds in there, inland, going up, plenty of room for water to come under there. Be the last house out here. Tad obtuse. Beats the alternative though, doesn't it? On the edge of the cloud, on the edge of the Gurnet cliff, right over the other side of that hill. And there's the Gurnet Light. Let's go get a closer look. Established 1768. The weather. A lighthouse keeper had to make periodic weather observations and record them In the official logbook, the weather on the Gurnet can be severe with high winds, thick fog, and heavy surf. Project Gurnet and Bug Lights Incorporated maintains a modern weather station at the Gurnet Light, which is connected to the internet. The climate data is updated every 10 minutes. So whenever you hear the wind begin to howl, think it must be blowing pretty hard at the light. Go to the PG and BL Inc. website, www.buglight.org, or use the QR below to see what's happening now. Will do. Ribs of a ship, I would say. Cannonball stack. Cannonball stack right there. Made of 32-pound shots welded together. A shot is a solid iron cannonball. 32-pound shots have a diameter of 6.4 inches. These are reproductions. 2021. Fort Gurnet was built to protect the important harbor and port of Plymouth. Strategically, Gurnet Point was the best location for a seacoast fort, headland 50 feet above the water. 32-pound seacoast cannons could fire the shots about 1,900 yards using 9 pounds of explosive powder. Wow. The solid shots did not explode. They did their damage through kinetic energy based on the velocity and weight. The target was the British Navy ships. It's likely that the fort had a hot shot furnace. The shot was heated to a red hot, which took about an hour. The cannon was loaded from the front of the tube. First, the powder was packed into the barrel, then a special packing made of wet hay and clay was rammed in to prevent the shot from igniting the powder. If the hot shot struck a wooden ship, it could set it aflame. Even if the hot shot skipped across the water, it could still start a fire on the vessel. Wow. Fort Gurnet was renamed Fort Andrew in 1863 during the Civil War in honor of Massachusetts Governor John Albion Andrew. Plymouth Light, 1768. There are the Twin Lights. Twin Lights and Keeper's Dwelling, circa 1843, National Archives. Plymouth Gurnet Light was built in 1768. It was the third lighthouse in Massachusetts and the eighth in what would become the United States of America. Spider whale oil lamp. Wicked cool. So this was the old fort. There's the light. That's what it sounded like. It has multiple purposes. Fort Andrew, 1863. Yeah, I think I just read that. Let's just go have a look. Severe cliff erosion. Of course I wanted to look over the edge. Gorgeous. So it's the mouth of Plymouth Bay, Kingston Bay, Duxbury Bay. Looks like the double lights right there. Could use some lights. There's a very dark cloud just intercepted the sun. And surrounded by private residence. And then you look along Duxbury Beach. Got to go through Duxbury to get out of Plymouth. Interesting that that's Duxbury, but we're in Plymouth here on the Gurnet, Saquesh. Checking out now, monitoring this wonderful cloud. And Patriots are up in Miami. How long is that going to last? And the first open Montauk daisies, as far as I've seen. Beautiful. All right. Seriously, let's get to the cats. Seriously. Past Duxbury Beach. Janet says this is the horseshoe crab capital of New England. It's just plain beautiful to me. Sun is so short. It's already closed. Obligatory Powder Point Bridge video bonus clouds. Duxbury. I'm sure there's some kind of significance, like the longest wooden double lane bridge or something like that. You know? Do you know T-Rex? Is this historic? Alright. That cloud looks serious. Pretty dog. That's a downpour over there, or at least a shower. 4 o'clock, just got home. Patriots and Dolphins exchanged the lead 3 times in the last 5 miles.
At the 26.
Oh, it's gut-wrenching.
Left foot across the sideline.
Lots of different weather, too. And there's our all stirred up and can't wait to go outside kitty. It's been a long day, hasn't it, T-Rex? T-Rex has been here all the way. You're not going to go far, are you? But Steve has been cooped up. So has Mitt. Mitt, come on out. Not in a hurry Sunday. He's going to want a belly rub. And Mitt, you're not going far, right? All right. And the clouds are clearing up. I didn't check the radar, but I'm sure there were some raindrops here in eastern Massachusetts somewhere. And there's Steve doing the Steve thing. Just come over here and rub me. He's so excited to be outdoors. He's kind of an outdoor cat. Are you going to go catch something for us? Please don't catch anything, Steve. I don't know if my heart can handle anymore. It was a fun time looking back at the history of America and the Gurnet Light, and Plymouth Light, and Fort Andrew, and the Patriots made the ride home even more exciting, along with the tourist type stuff we just did down there in Duxbury. Look at this cat, Mitt, going for a nice fall bloom. Mitt, you got to come see this. I love how they don't care about the edge. Cats do not fear height. Mitt just watches from his patio perch. Mitt, this cat Mitt is doing great. You want some? Want some happy hour? Yeah. No. Update from Tracy, still at the beach house. A seal came up close to the beach today. And those big black clouds in the background did yield a few raindrops just away from the coast in Plymouth County. And I just checked the radar here at about 5 o'clock. Downpours in southern Rhode Island. So above and beyond the call of the forecast, towering cumulonimbus isolated in New England today. Not in a hurry Sunday. Got some people not in a hurry right here. Steve doesn't count. You're not a people. But right here, here. And always not in a hurry, cat Mitt. And no raindrops here. Southern New Hampshire, a couple more raindrops. Just about done. A little lower on the horizon. We'll wait for the sun. And Kevin, thanks for reminding me that the Great Chase was this weekend. It's a really famous old sailboat race around Quincy and Weymouth and Hingham. Just past 6 o'clock. Gorgeous. I know there's another great game on, at least one anyway, Philadelphia, Kansas City. Jerry's watching that. And I came out to see what Mitt's doing and found this really loud boat. That little one there. It's a water taxi, I think. Straight pipes, it's cool. And 2 tugboats, they just escorted a tanker in, as you'll see in the time lapse. What you won't see in the time lapse though is something really rare. Mitt on Steve's rock. Hi Mitt, you look so good there. Does Steve know about this? Oh, look at these ants doing some work in the backyard. That thing weighs more than him. Or is that a pupae? I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, that's a me. Okay, he's about to take off, but he's anchored, so we'll free up Steve and watch the time lapse from Weymouth. Alto cumulus first, I believe. Kind of a pseudo warm front, cold front. And then the chunky cumulus with more rain showers in eastern, southeastern New England today. That was amazing. And now, this is pretty fun. Steve is like, who is this on my rock and my chair? Mitt is the elder statesman of the Maine Coon family, so Your Honor, Your Honor. And the time lapse from Cape Cod with less land mass. I'm thinking we had fewer instability clouds, and the front is a little farther north, so I think it was an awesome day on Cape Cod, is my guess. All right, fitting that we conclude our Not in a Hurry Sunday with the most not in a hurry cat ever, Mitt. And Steve has come over here because he wants me to put his back into the concrete poured by Roger Kent 75 years ago. Little TK relief art there. And the sunset over the Gulf of Weymouth. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your back to work Monday. And we'll see you on Tuesdays are good if you can get them. Treat this week, that's for sure.